Good morning, welcome to Move More. We are week 13, so over halfway. As usual, make sure you've got space around you, you've got a drink close by, any sprays, inhalers that you need to have for any medical conditions you must have by your side. Feel free to stop if you need to, but don't stop completely. Pardon me, pump your heels, and that just keeps your blood circulating and hopefully helps you to recover. Some of you are not feeling 100% today, so rest when you can. We are going to come up to standing pretty much straight away. So join us in standing or stay seated. So ready to go. Let's take our feet nice and wide. We're going to hip walk to the front third of our chairs, and we're going to think about our great posture by pulling up from the pelvic floor, up through the belly, through the chest, through the sternum. Keep your chin back a little bit, shoulders back and down, and just enjoy that position for a moment, and then just breathe. So take some nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Oh, lovely. Roll through the shoulders if you need to. So just send them back and down a little bit, up, back and down. Ooh, and sometimes, so I've just wiggled my feet forwards a little bit, because if they're back a little bit and you're sitting forwards, you might feel a bit unsteady. So it's sometimes good to have your feet further forwards. What's the matter?
Nothing. Just that if I cut you off, I'm going to cut you off. That's the furthest back you can do. You can't go back any further.
Oh, well, I'm going to stand up now.
Okay.
So let's start pumping the heels. So lift one heel and the other, and I'll let you into a secret. I went to a pump class yesterday and we did heel raises. Okay, and I know. Oh, have you lost me?
No, it's not
still
you.
on.
Somebody's pressed a button.
All right. And I know I make you do heel raises and toe raises, and my calves are really killing me today. So I'm really sorry if your calves have been hurting you over the past few weeks. It just goes to show how effective some of these exercises are. So
it's called karma.
Oh, rude. We're going to bring in opposite arms. So I can feel it now just doing this. So if you have got muscle soreness, it means you work really hard, but actually you can be kind to yourself, and I'm not going to do many calf raises today. So I am going to come straight up to standing, but you can stay sitting, and I'm going to come round to the back of my chair, and I'm going to move my chair out of the way, and we will give you some chair options. I think Helen might join us later when we've got some more complicated moves, and we'll show you both options, because I know some of you, especially at Age UK, are not standing very much, so we do need to incorporate those seated options for you. Okay, so in standing, we're still thinking about your great posture. Keep breathing. And remember, there's not speed in these movements. We're just warming the body up.
John, I can only see your glasses, love. I can't see you, sweetheart. So if you want to turn your camera around so I get to see you, that's helpful.
Okay, pop your feet nice and wide, same in seated. Now we've done a little shoulder circle. We're going to do a shoulder raise. So we're lifting the shoulders and we're sending them back down. Now, my knees are slightly bent. Okay, never locked out. It's not very nice on your knees. It can be a bit uncomfortable. And don't hold your breath again. So a big shoulder lift, shoulder raise, and then send them down, 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 down. Sometimes it helps to kind of like press your fingers down, open them out and press them down to the floor.
That's lovely. Little shoulder rolls there.
Just breathe and send them down. Send it down in the back of your shoulder blades as well. So it becomes a bigger movement, but a bit more intense.
Turn the face back. Don't look at me like that.
I don't know what you were telling me to do.
Up and down. There you go. That's it.
Okay, back to heel pump. So remember, we're standing. So if you're in standing, you can do a bigger march if you want to. In seated, we're still just lifting the heels adding on that opposite arm movement. So the aim is to just get your joints, your muscles, everything a bit warmer, circulating the blood through the body a little bit more. You can pump your fingers. Lovely. Good. Fabulous. Okay, feet come wide again. Hands to the sides of your thighs. In seated, we've got the same options. You can just take your hands down to the side of the chair, as if you're picking something up off the floor. If you're standing, then just sliding your hands down your thighs. So in seated, it's here. I'm still away from the back of my chair. Self-supporting spine, really important. And even if you're just there for a few moments, and then you can have a rest back. But it's important to lean to the side. Use the muscles around your core to help lift you. And keep breathing. And try and keep both cheeks on the chair. Try not to let one side lift up. Okay? Keep going. Keep going. And if I'm side on, I'm kind of just leaning to the side, not forwards. Working through the waist, the sides. Just getting some lovely movement. And then we start to lift that opposite elbow up. Sliding one hand down, lifting the other up. Trying to keep the head in line. Excellent. And then let's come back to a march. So this is your default position, really. Always coming back to the march. How are we feeling? Hopefully you're still okay. Shouldn't be too tired or...
Violet, I'm just checking in on you, love.
Good, good. Okay, coming to feet. So a little change. Pardon me. Heel and then toe. Heel and toe. So you're trying to hit the same spot on the floor. This standing supporting knee is slightly bent.
And I recognise we've chopped the head off. I just want you to look at her feet, not a beautiful hair.
So toe, heel. Remember what we were saying last week and all the weeks before about ankle mobility, how important it is to enable you to be able to walk safely, not even safely, walk strongly and more confidently, and using your ankles really well in those walking movements, in the stepping movements, lunges, etc. So it's really important. And if you need to take a bit longer, please do. Okay, I'm going to change sides. Same again. So the heel is kind of just around the joint of the big toe on the other side. So it's kind of level. Excuse me.
You're right, Dolores.
Yeah. See, Dolores. Where did that come from? Keep going. Heel toe. Is one side better than the other? Have you got more movement in one side? More pain? Less pain? Notice. Again, take a bit longer if you need to here while we come into a march. So seated, that was exactly the same, okay? Same movement. It just might make you a bit more tired in seating because you have to lift up your knee a little bit further when you're sitting. Okay, we're going to add in bigger arms. Excellent. And then we're going to come to the hip movement. So take your feet a bit wider, soften the knees, hips to the side, forwards in a semicircle, to the other side, center. To the side, forwards, side, center. Now that's in standing. Seated, it's this lovely movement in a big circle, but the aim is to try and send your shoulders in a circle, okay? Try not to drop your chin too much. And that just mobilises through your hips, your lower back. And then let's go in the opposite direction in seated. And you can have just a wiggle jiggle if you're standing. It's quite nice. You can kind of just wiggle side to side. Just shifting weight through the hips is quite nice. And lovely. Keep going. And then we're going to come to your Elvis knee. So one knee. We're going to make it's harder in seated, isn't it? You can just go side to side if you want. But in standing, it's a little pivot, really. That's what it is. On the ball of your foot, sending your knee in a circle. So again, really mobilizing the ankle, the calf, the knee, the hip. And also if you spread the toes out, you're giving your toes a little mini mobilization session as well. So one way, and then let's go in the opposite direction. So opening out the hip a little bit. Lovely, I quite like that. And then let's change sides. And if it doesn't feel nice, it doesn't all have to feel nice. If it's uncomfortable, then just change it, go side to side. We need to do what works for you.
It's like the hokey pokey going on.
The hokey pokey.
God.
The hokey cokey even. Helen gets confused with hokey pokey and hokey cokey.
It's only because my American friends, say
hokey pokey. And then there's a pokey something, isn't there? A pokey hat, which is an ice cream cone, isn't it? Side to side. Lovely. And then let's march. I do feel sorry for you having to put up with our ramblings, you know. Mm-hmm. Our lovely Nick's on holiday, and we feel so sorry for her because she has to put up with us going off on a tangent every now and again.
Wittering on.
But we think it makes it a bit more fun for you, so listening to our witterings. Right, let's start taking it up. Have I forgotten anything? Heels, legs.
Beryl, you right, lovely girl?
Yep, she's good. Shoulders. I think that's everything. Right, coming into endurance. So this is going to make you a bit puffed out. So we're going to tap to the side. We want you to be a little bit puffed out in this section. It's all to do with heart health. Really working on the energy systems in your body to get you a little bit out of breath, which is why if you need your inhalers, puffers, sprays, you need to have them by your side. Stop if you need to at any time and just move those heels to keep your blood moving around.
And hands out your pockets.
Oh, hands out your pockets. Remember, hold onto the chair or press onto the chair. You can have no support. I spoke to somebody end of last week and they're a bit unsteady, so I said to him, have a chair, sit on a chair and have a chair in front of you. Okay, and then stand. So you've got a chair behind and a chair in front, if that's what you need. Or completely unsupported, depending on how confident you are and how your balance is. Okay, so this is just that tap to the side. Let's add in bigger arms. In seated, it's exactly the same. And we love adding arms in, and it might make you more out of breath, and that's fine. So if you can, opposite hand to leg, otherwise you'll kind of be like a bit kind of discombobulated. I don't know the word for it.
Doolally.
Doolally. Wonky donkey. Yeah. Whatever it might be. Okay, back to your march. So if ever you want to practice this at home, if you're happy to do it, always come back to your march and just add in some extra sections either side of a march, or follow our lovely video that we send you. Sorry it was late last week. Okay, stepping, step to the side, step to the side. Now, seated, it's a tap. Keep going in standing, tap out, leg in. Or if you're on like a slippery chair, you could tap and step. Tap and step. Good. So, option, as always, add in an arm. You could add in, if you're holding on one arm, you can swap arms. Breathe in, 2 arms. Or you can add a little raise, side raise. And if you're squeezing onto those hands, you're working your shoulder, the muscles in the tops of your arms as well. It all adds on to making your heart work a bit harder. And this, you know, you might be able to tell any improvements if you're going up and down the stairs, if you're going up and down slopes, or if you're just running around in general a bit faster. You might find you're not getting so out of breath, and you're able to do more things without getting puffed out. Okay, back to your march. This is your time to just get a bit of recovery, so have a breath. Take the arms out if you need to. In seated, it's just a heel pump. Think about how you feel. Remember, in endurance, we want you about 6. 6 now. Some of you maybe a 7, but 6-ish. If you're new to us, 5 or 6. So naught is you got lots of energy. You're going to skip around the room. 10 is you've just done a marathon or a big fat long walk up and down the hills in Cornwall, and you have to go and have a little nap. Okie dokie. Next up and over. So see the difference. So normally, if you're not used to doing this, just a small up and over is good. So start there, up and over your cat, up and over the cat. You don't want to kick it. Okay, if you're happy to, a bigger movement. Up and over. In seated. Sitting at the front third of your chair. And then lift that leg up and back. Now, you might find it easier to just sit into the back of your chair. So a full backrest, we call it. Lift that leg up and over. And the second one, because it's quite a big movement in the leg. If you're sitting down, you're already at a 90-degree angle. So then if you're lifting your leg up, it's even bigger. Okay, it's a much bigger angle. So feel free to sit back and lift. If that's too much, just lift that leg up. But we are really trying to think about lifting that leg and opening out the hips, working around the thigh muscles. In standing, you're doing really well. How are your legs feeling? Up, together, up, together. Lovely. Remember last week? Toes down first, then heels. Are you still doing that? Is it becoming natural for you? Yeah. Side on. Lift up and over, up and over. Up and over, up and over. Good, good. Lovely. And then recovery time. Gentle. Big breath in.
You right, Colin?
Excellent.
Thumbs up, teams.
Give us a thumbs up if you're okay. We're nearly done with endurance, so just bear with us. Good. Okay. Squats, knee bends. So we haven't done these in endurance for a while. I'm going to step away from my chair. I'm going to keep looking forwards. And I'm going to bend my knees, send my hips back, and squeeze at the top. Squeeze the bottom, squeeze the thighs, send the hips back, knees forwards. So you need to keep looking forwards, not down. Okay, I'd rather you just go a little way and keep looking forwards. Obviously your eye gaze comes down with you, so my eye gaze is here and down. I'm not kind of going down to my chair. Sometimes it helps to turn your toes out a little bit. In seated, it's a little bunny hop here, or a stand up. if that's easier, and a sit down. If you prefer, you can cross your arms, or you can take your arms out. That sometimes helps if you've got long legs or you don't have the strength to push up. Feel free and seated to use that momentum, like a 1, 2, 3 and up. Lots of options. And just check yourself out.
Bend the knees. Less hips, more knees.
So it's like a concertina. You're going down, 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 and then a big squeeze up at the top. Down, 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 and a big squeeze at the top. Pushing it down through the feet evenly if you can. It doesn't have to be a fast movement. Lovely. As if you were sitting down on a chair. You're going to sit down, sit down, sit down. Oh, no, you're not. You're going to come up to standing. How are you doing? Good, good. Lovely. And then come back to a march. So quite strong into the muscles in the thighs and the bottom. So let's just get you to recover. You can shake your legs off if you want. Give them a rub, a little pat. But back to your basic heel lift. So excellent. Okay, next one, last one, and then we'll bring it down, is a high knee lift. So lifting the knees up. Again, if you're sitting, sit back and come forwards in your chair, but rest back, lift the knees. So if you've just done that, instead of the lifting the leg out, have a little rest or do a little tap out. Otherwise, in standing, you can hold on. You could add the other arm, just a squeeze. Make sure you're steady. So my weight is, my balance, my center of gravity is in the middle. Okay? I'm not swaying, I'm just lifting and transferring weight. So I'm steady. It's not fast unless you can lift as well as going a bit faster. This is about using those big muscles. Keep breathing. Think about how your energy is. How is your energy level? How are your energy levels? And then bring it down. Just a march. Just a march. Lovely. And then bringing it down to a reasonable level of heart rate for you. We're going to step together. Step together. So behind your chair, just a tap out if you're sitting. Slide your hands across. If you're sitting, don't just stay still. You mustn't just stay still. You must tap or pump your heels. Pump your heels and your hands. Okay, we're bringing your heart rates down slowly. We don't want you to just stop, because that's when you feel a bit dizzy or a bit faint. Breathe, take some deep breaths in if it helps. Lovely. Okay, feet nice and wide, wide base sway. Now we'll come back to this in a moment. Wide base sway is lovely. In seated, it's exactly the same. Feet nice and wide. Sway into one side. The side that you sway is the side that the hands come. Sway, hands lift. Sway, hands lift. Oh, lovely. We love that wide base sway. Okay, one hand. Shake the other hand out if you want to. Oh, wrong hand. I was shaking.
How are you getting on, Yuki? Remember, in seated, the sway in is like you're lifting a bum cheek, like you've got a bit of wind and you need to let it go. There you go. You all know what lifting a bum cheek looks like. You speak
for yourself.
Years of experience working in an office with you.
No, I don't think so. Rude. No arms. Shaky, shaky.
Slow it down, everyone.
Slowly.
It's slower than a slow thing. There you go.
Breathe.
It's harder, slower, isn't it?
Have a rest.
Beryl, watching you.
Grab a drink. And then we're going to straight into balance. So grab a drink. Grab a drink. Have a breath.
Good. Can you not look so tired? Can you smile for me, please? Bless you.
Right, moving into balance. So, have you got, oh no, we don't need bands yet. So we're going to work on tandem again. This time we're going to walk, or you can walk. You've got options. You can stay by your chair. So I'm going to move my chair. And we're going to take one foot, put the other foot in. You can watch to start with if you want. Put the other foot in front. I'm sliding my hand along the chair, and I get to a certain point, and I have no support if I move any further forward. So I'm just going to walk backwards. So options are foot right in front. Okay, right in front. Now that might pull on one of the backs of your legs. So do what you need to do. If you need to go slightly wider, that's fine. If you want to just do a little pin step, so your feet are not one in front of the other, but you're in a narrow, really narrow step, then that's fine. Or if you're used to walking with a wide step and you just want to walk in a narrow pace, that's fine. So do what is good for you. In seated, we need to hip walk to the front third of the chair. We're going to take one foot behind a little bit and the other foot goes in front, and we lean our weight forwards so that we feel unbalanced. Now I'm leaning on my thighs. I'm going to sit upright and I'm going to let go. Okay, so this takes core work. So engage through the core and then come out wide.
You look great, honestly.
Other foot comes back and lean forwards, and that gives you that sense of being unbalanced, and you always can step wide to come out of that. The other option is you can put one foot on top of the other, which makes you feel wobbly. Okay, now I'm quite cautious. So what you can do, if you're really comfortable with this, is just walk around the room. There's no reason why not. If you're quite comfortable with it, quite confident, you could just walk around the room. Whoop. If you unbalance, that's fine. Remember what we need to do? Step out wide or just recover. Step out, use your arms to wobble to kind of get your balance again. Walking forwards and walking backwards. Remember that foot placement. You can always stop and rest, have a reset, and then go in a different direction. So, can you turn maybe? So this is all good balance work. And, you know, try to keep your eye gaze forward. When you're moving around, it can be really natural to look down, but you don't need to look at your feet. If your space is clear, you don't need to look at your feet. You need to be looking forwards and back, forwards and in front of you. If you're seated, sitting, you could take your feet forwards. You could come into this movement, and then you could be looking to one side and then the other side. That will give you a sense of being unbalanced as well. Make sure you change feet. And then leaning forwards, maybe looking up and down.
Ooh,
to the
good
side.
challenges. Be
To
careful.
the side.
Yeah.
Remember to always come back to those wide feet. Lovely. And come back behind your chairs and have a rest. Are we okay? So you can see how we can really progress it in the second half. We've really built on these movements. We've embedded it into kind of the practices. So you should remember what's going on, what you need to do. So there's no reason why when you're waiting for the kettle to boil, you're up and down the worktop or doing a little Charleston. It all helps. Adding a little bit of fun to it can help you to do it. Put some music on, a little Charleston, anything that helps you to remember. Okay, so you can wander. You don't have to be confined to a chair to do it. Okay, next up, single leg balance. One of my favourites. So, soft supporting knee. Spread your toes out in your shoes. Take that foot backwards onto the floor. If this is enough for you, stay here. Lift. So remember posture here. I'm going to lift up, pull up through, lifting through, tuck my chin back, shoulders back and down. And then if you want to, you've got your chair for support. Lift that heel. Relax the foot and just stand with one foot lifted. Now, if you're sitting, obviously take that supporting leg out a little bit and lift that knee, the other knee in front of you. I'm a bit wobbly on this side. This is my broken toe side, so I can't press as well. Step out nice and wide when you're unbalanced. So lots of different things going on with people's feet can really make a difference in that strength, the balance in your feet, ankles, etc., knees. So for me, I can't press very well, which means that I can't use my toes to balance properly. If you've got arthritis or fused joints, for example, that might make a difference too. Let's swap sides. Soft supporting knee, posture check, shoulders back and down. Brace through the core. Think about that center of gravity. So take that foot behind. If that's enough for you, that's fine. Otherwise, we're going to lift that heel and just hold it there. Spread those toes out. Feel the ankle, the toes are kind of going, ooh, what's going on? You're a bit wobbly, and your muscles in your legs, hips, thighs, ankles, toes will be working to keep you strong and steady. Your brain will be working as well. And when you're ready, we step wide. And you go again on the other side. Take your time to change sides. So in seated, leg out and forwards a little bit. Other leg is going to lift. If you want to walk that foot in, you can do. That makes you less stable, so it's more of a challenge. Take that foot down and let's swap sides. Oh, little wiggle jiggle with my feet. So I'm going to bring that foot in. I'm going to lift my leg, and then I'm going to take my, if you want to add on as well, if you want to make it harder, you can lift your hands off so you've got no support at all. Lift that leg, try and breathe. This is quite hard actually. And then bring that foot down. Lovely. Good. How are we doing?
6 minutes past.
Okay, I want to do some really good strength work with you. So let's come into seated. So come and sit, grab a band. And I want to work at, and those of you that have been with us a while might recognise this one. Because this is, you know, we've been working through that movement of getting towards the chair. I'm going to show you. So as we come to the chair, we step and we grab the chair. Then if we were to come down to the floor, we drop that knee down and we drop that knee down. Now to get you back up, we'd come to the floor here, and I have sent you the video, so hopefully you know what I'm talking about. To get you back up, we would push down on the chair, and this movement here takes the foot around. You can see my little semicircle around to the side, because you can try and do it through. It's really difficult. So the most natural way is to semicircle that leg into that position where you can push up from the back foot, but using this leg as your anchor. Okay, so we're going to replicate that with our band. And it's the same in seated or standing. You're going to come forwards on your chair. You're going to, you can make a little circle, but we're going to lift our leg and we're going to put our leg through it. We're going to lift and take it off. So if you had a big circle, if you had a big, like if you tied a knot in it, for example, it's here, And I want you to lift that leg up and out. So it's up and out, it's not in front.
The circle is like the size of a dinner plate.
And this is what we say, you've forgotten to put your pants on today. So you're going to put your pants on, and it's putting it through the leg of your drawers. So you're lifting and pulling it.
They're hell of a big pair of pants you got there.
They are.
Bloomers.
And it's that movement, it's that lift around that we want to see. If that's too much, put the band on your foot and just try and wiggle jiggle that leg in a semicircle, or just like a quarter of a circle. So imagine bringing that knee, that foot through and back again. So it's like a little quarter circle, working from the hip around. Actually, try this anyway. That might be easier. Out and in. And if you've got hip problems, hip replacements, see how it feels. Just start small, and then you can add on.
You're not sticking your right toe up your left nostril, are you?
And with the band, it kind of helps you to lift out and in. Okay? So that's one side. Let's try the other side. Notice how that side felt. Try, put your pants on that side. It's really hard in seated, isn't it? Sitting. It's like things get in the way. Try not to make that noise. Like that, okay? No noises. Smile.
Right there.
And then put that foot on. It's hard, round in a circle. And you know, our hips are different, our skeletons are different. Some of us have really great mobility in hips. We just saw that in our Pilates class, for example. Some people can bend forwards and some people can't. Some have great mobility in hips on one side and some don't. So it's that circle out, circle in, circle out, circle in. And we've already practiced lifting the knees, so that's kind of the other direction that we've practiced, which is good. Lovely. And a couple more times. Out and in, and out and in. Excellent. And then take it off. Right, undo it if you've made a circle. This is the hard bit. It's where you need to tie a bow, not a knot.
Bows, believe it or not, are easier than knots.
And then back to thighs. So taking the band under the thighs. Now looking up still, don't look down at the floor. Under the thighs, bring the knees together, feet together, wrap it over, and then take the other side over tightly. And then just put your hands on the top. We don't want you wrapping the edge of the band around your fingers. We don't want any blue fingers. Same in seated, this is all the same. I'm going to walk my heels, toes out, so my knees are together, my feet are out, and then I'm going to like slowly press my knees away from each other, and then slowly let them back in. So this is working on the thighs, the outer thighs, the inner thighs, the quads, the thigh muscles. So open, open, open. Slowly, slowly bring them back in. Open, open. Slowly in. Oh, how's your posture, by the way? Are you slouching? Are you slumping? We're nearly done. Okay, this time we're going to hold it out and tiny little presses. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Hold it there. Keep the band there. So remember last week? That's one set.
Show of hands, who's been practicing this?
You naughty lot.
Right, you lot are on the naughty step.
You can do this at home on the side of the bed, when you get in bed, before you get out of bed.
But look at their angelic faces, like, no, I haven't done it, but I'm going to smile sweetly at you.
And then I'll get away with it.
Oh, little minxes.
Side on the chair, on the bed, it's a clam. It's this movement.
See, but when
I haven't. Right, second set. Second set. And this is how you progress yourselves at home. Band under, over, over. or you can get a stronger band, walking the feet out. So taking the knees out and in and out and in and out. If it's not hard enough, make it tighter. If it's too hard, make it looser. We got 4 more. So we're doing 8. We're doing 8 times, which is 8 repetitions. Okay, so this is our second set. And we're going to hold it out and we're going to press for 8. 4, 3, 2, 1, rest. So if you found that pretty easy at home, you could go on and carry on and do another 2 another day, or you could go, oh, do you know what? I might try 3 sets of 8. And that's how you progress. Write it down. And then in another week or so, you might go, oh, I can now do 4. That might be when you need to go to a green band and do less repetitions. So you do 4, etc. So that's how you progress. How are we doing? 1/4 past. Ooh. Right. What should we do now? Should we do an arm one? Should we do triceps? No, let's do biceps. So band under both your feet. And we're going to hold the band with the ends coming through the top. Now, I need you to think about wrists here. So strong wrists. So we don't want any kind of wibbly wobbly wrists. Strong wrists as if you've got a rod through that wrist. So they're strong and straight. Use all your fingers and the thumb to grip. Okay, big grip strength here. So we're going to go one side. So we're trying to get the hand towards the shoulder and then back down towards the thigh, but slowly. And I want you to take as much time as it takes you to lift, as it takes you to lower. So the same length of time. I don't want you to kind of go, drop, because we're working the muscles going up and then working different muscles as we go down. It's also adding resistance through the wrist, the fingers, arms, shoulders. So this is a really great exercise. If you're pulling in your core, pelvic floor, imagine everything that's doing to your body as well. So we're
Try and keep your elbows tucked. So instead of chicken wings, try and keep your elbows stuck in on your waistline. There you go. It's harder, isn't it?
One at a time. If that's easy, go for both. Go for a double.
The next thing is strong wrists. Try and really straighten off your wrists. Lovely. Elbows in. They're not chicken wings.
How does that feel? Again, if it's easy, hold further down. Don't snap your band. That's happened before. Lift, lift, lift. And then you're done. Well done. Let's stretch you out. Has that made you hot? I'm hot now. And you know, sometimes you can be jigging around doing endurance and you might be puffed out, but you might not be hot. But these strength exercises can make you really hot in a good way. Right, take your fingers, just bring them, palm up, just bring them gently towards the floor, just stretching off the forearm, the elbow, and then swap sides. So it's just a nice release. And then we're going to take the hands to the lower back or the back of the chair, squeeze the shoulders, elbows towards each other, lift the chin just a little way, breathe. Lovely, and let go. Hands come over the knees. Oh, this always feels nice after doing that one. Drop the chin. Feet walk forwards a little bit. Tuck the belly in towards the spine. Make a big C shape with the spine. So from the crown of the head, right the way along the length of your spine under your bottom towards the kneecaps, the back of the knees. Big C shape. Oh, and have a wiggle. That can always help. It just gets into little places that you think, oh, that's a bit tight. And then come up. Okay, hand, palm up to your shoulder Walk those fingers down towards the center of your shoulder blades, lift and push that arm if you need to, and then lift up through the chest. So you're just extending through the front of the body to give you a bigger lift. And then let's swap sides. Other hand, wiggle, walk it down, give it a little nudge. Lift up through the chest and smile. How about taking both arms? Can you get both arms up?
John G, I haven't been able to see you at all in this session, but I've noticed that you've thrown your band on top of your glasses.
Oh.
So I'm assuming you're doing your session, and that made me chuckle.
Just a little lean and then up and lean to the other side. So double arm stretch, hey, hey, and then lean forwards and out. Legs, one leg comes forwards, walk the other foot forwards. You must be at the front third of your chair, otherwise you're not going to stretch the back of this leg. Hands on the thigh, lean forwards from the hips. Toes are pointing upwards, you know this now. Toes point upwards, not out. If you can't feel that, take a breath. Lean forwards a bit more. Oh, yeah, there it is. And just hold it for about 7-8 seconds. And then come up and then wiggle off the foot and then squeeze the toes up towards the kneecap for a big calf stretch. Lovely. And then swap sides. So heel comes to the floor, nice long leg, walk the other foot away, hands on the thigh, lean forwards, hinge from the hip and lift up through the chest. So try not to round the spine because you lose that stretch in the back of the thigh otherwise. So always think long spine and breathe. You're nearly done for another week, except for your homework, obviously, which takes another hour over the week because it's good for you. Come up, 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 relax the foot and squeeze the toes and squeeze the toes up towards the kneecap for a lovely calf stretch. And then feet nice and wide. Have we got time for, oh, we do. We've got time for standing, Tai Chi. If you want to sit, sit. I'll try and do options for you. But otherwise, standing is fabulous. Adjust your leggings where needed. And take your feet wide.
Now in seated, all I need you to do is to put yourself into lovely posture. So sit with your back away from the back of your chair. So you're using that self-supporting spine.
Okay, so we're just lifting and pressing the fingertips. So lightly touch the fingertips, just up towards the chin and lower down. If you're able to, bend the knees as we press down. If you can't, don't worry. You can be behind a chair. You could do it one-handed if you need the support of the chair. Okay, lots of options here. Or go without the arms. You can just do legs or just arms. It's up to you. So slowly, purposefully, just lifting and breathing. Lifting. Breathing out. Okay, I'm going to take one foot forwards and I'm going to press my hand out. I'm going to come back and press that hand out. Palm faces up on the way out and down. Palm up and then back in. I'm going to swap legs. So I'm going to take this other leg forward and down.
You all right? You don't have to do
Down
this speedily.
To the side. This should be slow. Okay, it should match your breath. And you take this leg back. So leg back, and then I lean forwards again on the front leg. And bring this leg back. So the other leg is in front. And my palm just brushes forward, comes back to the hip. opens out, brushes back. And then we step wide. Both palms brush out. As we float the hands down, bend the knees if you can. Bring the hands up and out. Float them down. Up and out. Float them down. Up and out. One foot comes forwards into our row. So how do we do this? Over the front knee. As we come back, my back knee bends. That's quite difficult for some of you. If you're not able to do that, just bring the leg in a little bit. It's less of a bend at the back then. And try not to overreach. Your fingers are soft. And then we're going in the opposite direction. Under and back in. Under and back in. And then I'm going to bring that foot back. Other foot comes forwards, exactly the same in seated. In that little cup movement. Cup position with the fingers, so as if you're holding an egg. Gentle, fragile. Over the knee. Bend that knee at the back. Over the knee and back. Your breathing should have slowed down. We're going to go opposite way, so under, pull back towards the waist. Brush under, back to the waist. Under. And last time. Step wide, fingertips come together. And a breath out. Long and slow here. Last one, breathe in. Breathe out. Find your chair. Sit down properly. Feel the chair behind your knees. Sit down slowly. Close your eyes when you're sitting. Close your eyes. Feet wide. Relax the shoulders straight into relaxation body scan. So take a couple of long, slow breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. And again, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Okay, be aware of your toes. Wiggle, jiggle them, rest them, settle them, feel them. Calf muscles, feel them relax, rest, settle. The knees, kneecaps, allow them to rest, settle. The thighs, give them a jiggle, rest, and let them settle. The belly just relaxes. The chest rests, relaxes. And then all the way down the back of the side of the body. Coming up to the shoulders, working your way down to the elbows, resting and relaxing. Into the fingers and the thumbs. Working your way back up to the neck, the face. Just relaxing, not letting go completely. Taking away the tension in the cheeks, eyes, jaw. Take a long breath in and a breath out. And then we move the toes, we move the fingers. And we start to wake our bodies up. Come forwards on the chair. So a very quick body scan. You can see how quick we can go into relaxation. Reset the body so that you're vibrant, you've got energy for the rest of the day. Pump your heels, move the hands, roll through the shoulders and give yourself a big round of applause for another week. Well done. And you're over halfway. Yay. See you next week for more fun.